Alright guys, hey, what's going on? Brian here. Wanted to do this video for a while because I feel like it's important to cover, because everyone wants to know if their bike can wheelie and if their bike can't wheelie, and I think we've kind of covered that your bike's capable of wheeling pretty much regardless of what it is. However, there is definitely bikes that are better to stunt than others, and today I have the top 3 that take the cake every time, and these are the bikes that you see every real stunt rider pretty much riding, and there's a reason that these 3 have lasted so long, and they're all, or these 2 I should say, are older bikes, and they have kind of survived the test of time. So I'm gonna go over them really quick. I'm gonna cover these 3, and I'm gonna kind of give you a really quick rundown of why I chose them and why the stunt community has chosen them to be the best stunt bikes that you can ride. So let's get into it, right? So we'll start off, of course, you already know my pick. Look at my channel name. We're going to start off with the 0304 636. Why this bike is on here, it's pretty obvious for me after being around stunt bikes. It's the power band. This power band and the power that this bike delivers is not only exceptional for the bike's weight compared to other 600s, the smoothness of the power band from all the way to low end to high end is extremely smooth and predictable. This is really important when you're doing anything from one-handed wheelies to combos or anything like that. It's super predictable power, and it's always going to be there. Some of the cons on this bike, however, is that these motors are tending to blow more and more. Throughout the years stunters have run through them. There's only 2 years this bike was made, 2003 and 2004. And no, the 0506 motor will not fit in this frame. So that's important to remember when you're doing any kind of rev limiters, rolling burnouts, coasters, anything like that, is that this motor, if you drop this motor and or, blow the motor, it's not exactly easy to come by anymore. They're extremely expensive to replace if you're going to get an actual, nice one, and they're hard to find even if you want to pay the money. And to come by a stock 0304 now is considered a unicorn, which I'm sure you've heard people say, and there's a reason for that, and it's because these bikes, yes, the power band is awesome, yes, I love them, it's my favorite bike to ride. However, they're definitely the most expensive bike on this list, and they're definitely becoming the most rare bike to find, and within the next 5 to 10 years I could see these being a dime a dozen, like very, very, very little of these being on the road because of that exact problem. So we'll move on from this one. I love it. It's always been my choice, but I'm not gonna count out these other 2 bikes on this list because I love them as well. Next up, Honda F4i. Man, oh man, this one's she's done the time, she's taken the abuse, she's got the right price tag on her, and if I was a beginner stunt rider today, I would get an F4i hands down. It is a tank. The reason this bike is on the list time and time, and it's survived it, is not only because of the price, but most importantly is because of the reliability. This right here, that motor matched with this frame is a tank. Most guys who do the 0304 636s have a steel frame like myself and a lot of other stunters. This bike, you can get away with running this stock frame for a long time and you'll be fine, and it's simply because of the way that it's mounted or designed around the motor. The weak points that the 0304 has, the F4i simply doesn't. The motor is an absolute tank. You can be on, I've seen dudes on rev limiters on this thing for literally minutes at a time, just la 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 la, and it won't blow. And we're talking about still 15, 16, 17-year-old motor, and it's lived the majority of its life like that, and it's still pushing. So not only is it reliable and super durable, the price tag on it is the lowest on this list, and yes, lower than the Grom in most cases. You can pick one of these F4i's up stock for, I've seen them go for $1,500, maybe on the top end $2,500, and you can set them up for stunting. I've seen the stunt bike F4i's go for like $2,500. That's super cheap for a bike that's not going to break and is super minimum maintenance. You can trash this thing and it's going to keep going. So When you're, especially for a beginner stunt rider, I would definitely recommend an F4i, and that would be at the top of my list. And the only reason that I don't ride an F4i is because of the power band difference. There is, I know it's minimum, but there is definitely a power difference on the 636. But I'm telling you, you can send that thing into a brick wall, and most of the time it's going to be okay. It's extremely strong. And the next, and another one of my favorite bikes here is the Honda Grom. This bike is only a few years old. It hasn't been time tested like the two bikes before. However, in recent years, it is definitely becoming a favorite for beginning riders and just for a fun bike. I love this Grom that we have. It is awesome. You can take it anywhere from sidewalks to any little parking lot. It just looks harmless. Even if you're wheeling it, it looks harmless. But I feel like the most important reason it's on this list is control and self-confidence. Once you reach balance point on a bike, period, it's pretty much the same across the board on bikes. You know where balance point is. So once you have a Grom and you can hit balance point on it, you're probably going to be able to transfer that skill over to a big bike. So you learn on a Grom, you trash a Grom. It's a Honda 2. This motor is the same motor that's based off the CRF 50, you know, since the 80s. This style motor is super hard to blow, especially with the oil pickup mod on it. It's hard to blow. Once again, you see guys on the rev limiter on them forever, and they are just that. They're hard to blow. You know, it speaks for itself. Now, as far as price goes, these things, I feel like people are trying to get a little bit too much money for. They normally go used more than what they're worth. Like new, you can go to a dealership and buy one of these things for $3,000, or you can buy them used, you know, with 1,000, 2,000 miles on them for $3,500 with the stunt parts on them. So you're talking about a little bit more of a pricey bike. However, big fun with it. I absolutely love this Grom. So you have more recent years, so no, it's not as time tested as these two, but I still feel like it is a great bike to have, and I personally love it, and I think it's awesome for beginners. But as far as the best stunt bike in the country, or in the world I should say, go ahead and leave that comment below. Tell me what you guys think is the best stunt bike. I probably have to even send my vote in now for an F4i. I know I'm Brian 636, but I gotta send it in for an F4i. It has 01 to 06 this thing was produced, so there's so much parts for them, and they're so cheap, and they're such tanks. I don't even know if the power difference of the 03, 04 is even worth it. So if it was up to me, I'd say the F4i is the best stunt bike that the sport bike community has ever released. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Tell me what you guys think of the video. Tell me if you think another bike should be on this list. And if you liked it, make sure to give it a like. If this helped you at all, make sure you share it. I appreciate you guys being on the channel. I hope you guys are having a good weekend. Hope you guys are a little bit cooler than I am out in this 100-degree desert. So, all right, guys, this is Brian getting out of here. Go drink some water. Peace.